Today we're going to be talking about why you're fat and can't do anything about it. Also, why I was fat and why it took me so long to lose the fat. One of the main reasons and one of the mistakes that I made is overcomplicated the issue, okay? Making it way more complicated than it is. And then also, it's the fitness industry that kind of adds onto this, okay? Because the more complicated fitness and fat loss is, the more products we can sell, the more magazines, the more diets, and yeah, confusion around this topic is very lucrative business, okay? So, I'm here to tell you the reason why I was able to change, why I was able to lose weight, and how I help clients and how I help others basically get into great shape is because it is pretty simple and we can all do it. And it's way more flexible than we all think. First thing is, don't overcomplicate it. It's quite simple, okay? I'll start with the most important thing that I learned. I had spent the better part of my life trying to lose weight, went through many diets, nutritionists, the whole shebang. Basically, things all changed when I realized and understood this one thing in particular. And that is calories in and calories out. That's where it all started, okay? The first law of thermodynamics. So basically, starting there, anyone that wants to dispute this basically is claiming that some way or another they have found a way in which I can put them on a deserted island with no food indefinitely and they will keep living, they will survive and not lose fat. In which case, if you are one of these people and have this claim, then great news, you have a very bright future ahead of you because you've just cured starvation. Okay, you cured world hunger, see you at the Nobel Prize. But if you're ready to accept that, like gravity, laws of physics kind of there to stay. And when you accept this, then we can get the ball rolling, okay? This was one of the main things that I understood that actually gave me structure and certainty in my weight loss journey. I knew that one way or another, now there's a lot of nuance to this and things do complicate that, hormones, hypothyroidism, PCOS, like there's a lot of things that complicate this, okay, and that's where people kind of get mixed up, but this is a thing, okay, it's very real, like I just said. First law of thermodynamics. Calories refers to energy. If I have more energy going in than I have going out, I get fat, because what is fat? It's stored energy. It's there so that when we don't have enough calories in, we can use fat to stay alive. Cool. Energy in versus energy out. If I have more energy out than is going in, then my body's going to use stored energy to make up the difference. And if I do that for long enough, this is a calorie deficit. If I'm in a calorie deficit for long enough, I'm going to lose fat. Okay? Very basic. There's a lot of other things that come into play. There's a lot of nuances, okay? But this stays. This stays. Cool. What does this mean? How do I see it? How do I apply it? Because again, the tendency of people is to really overcomplicate things. Now, I'm here to tell you that, lucky for you, if you understand money, if you have any, I hope you can see that, I need a new marker. If you have any concept of how money works, guess what? You're gonna get this. It's gonna make sense, okay? So think of fat as debt. Fat is like debt. You owe money, okay? So in order to get rid of debt and get rid of fat, you gotta pay it back, okay? Now there's many ways in which you pay it back, but what you need to understand is fat is just debt, okay? You spend more than you have. Get it? Now, like debt, fat, it's not a very attractive thing, okay? We don't like it. It's not ideal. So, what do we have to do? We have to lose the fat, pay back the debt. To continue the metaphor, hopefully with a better marker, how do we pay back debt, okay? Because I think we can all kind of grasp this idea. Well, first you need an income, right? You need money coming in. Let's say you have a job and you have X amount of money coming in. You have an income. The money coming in is your allowance, okay? Your income is how many calories you have to spend. Every day you have a certain number of calories to spend. You can break it up into how many calories per day, how many calories per week, how many calories per month. That's up to you. Obviously a day-by-day thing is easier. So we have calories per day. You have a certain amount per day, and just as you have this amount to spend per day, you have expenses, okay? You can't just give all your money to pay the debt. That's not sustainable. They're gonna turn off the electricity. Your house, you got bills to pay, the kids need new shoes. You gotta, like a budget, you have to allocate your funds accordingly. You know that there's things that have to be paid, we have to pay bills, and then what's left over, you can pay your debt. So it's basically just budgeting, okay? So you're getting this amount in, and then you have your bills to pay. When paying back debt, how do we best go about that, okay? First thing, budgeting your calories. Certain foods are more expensive than other foods. Probably a Belgian chocolate cake is going to be a little bit more expensive than an apple. We kind of get that. Everyone kind of knows that some foods are better than others. Here, I'm helping you kind of get an idea of why. Put it in this kind of term, okay? Some things are more expensive than others. So, therefore, you have to save up for them or budget in order to have them. If you are on a 9 to 5 minimum wage, guess what? You're not going to be buying Gucci every day. Sorry, not for you. You have to change your income or save up and accept that, hey, Gucci is on special occasions. Every person is different, so everyone has their own set income, okay? You ideally want to know this. This is one of the first things I do with my clients when they're onboarding with me, is I figure out that. What is their income? How much do they have to spend? And what's their debt looking like? And I basically, like an accountant, someone who helps handle and balance their books, I help them budget in a way that doesn't suck, so that they can still kind of get Gucci once in a while and they know how to move things around. I just help them pay their bills and pay back their debt in a way that doesn't really inconvenience them. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's certain non-negotiables, but then there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. There's a lot of nuance here and a lot of ways in which you can pay back that debt. There's a lot of creative things. Okay, especially for my entrepreneurs and my businessmen, you know, there's ways you can mess with tax, you know, there's a lot of options is what I'm getting at. Okay. This income is your total daily energy expenditure. The calories going out. The calories going in is your food, and that's basically your spending. Total daily energy expenditure, that's your income, and that's made up of a lot of things because let's say you get income from multiple places. So there are ways over time we can increase your income. Things like more movement gives you a higher income. So you can either pay back more of your debt or improve your lifestyle while you're paying back your debt. So you have a few more luxuries while still kind of consistently paying your debt. So things like movement, building muscle and having muscle over time, that increases your income. Then there is optimizing protein and certain macronutrients, okay? So optimizing protein is very important for both burning energy through the thermic effect, okay? So literally it increases your income and contributes to muscle building, which further increases your income. So you're gonna hear me talk about protein a lot because it's basically a 2-in-1. It burns energy, increases that, which means you got more money. And it helps you build muscle over time, which means you got a raise. Congratulations, you got promoted, you got a raise, whoop-de-doo, you have more money, okay? Having more muscle is having a better paycheck. So you have movement, you have more muscle, you have more optimized nutrition. Another thing that I help my clients do, but that doesn't mean you just go sit on a treadmill for 10 hours. But again, we're looking for sustainable solutions to pay back the debt. So we want to find a payment plan that works for you. Everyone is different, okay? Different incomes, different expenses, different situations. Some households have 3 kids, some have 1, some have a dog. They have different expenses to pay, they have different jobs. Everyone is different. That's why cookie cutter fitness doesn't cut it, and that's why so many people battle with fitness. Because everyone's got a different income, different expense, different lifestyle, different situation. It's very specific, and everyone requires a different budget plan. Some people are happy to pay back all their debt before they plan their next family vacation. Other people want to pay back their debt more slowly so that they can still keep having their family vacations and weekend getaways. That's all subjective, that's all depending on the person. We are just looking for a sustainable, realistic way to pay back the debt over time. If you are my client and I am coaching you, I'm simultaneously helping you pay back your debt and increase your income so that, one, you have more spending money, more luxuries, and you have a way less chance of ever getting in debt again because your income exceeds your spending almost always. So those are 2 things that I help you with. I help you pay back your debt in a way that suits you and your lifestyle and your specific conditions, and I help you improve your income. Your basal metabolic rate, okay, is one that I didn't mention yet. This is basically how much you get paid for existing in your current state. It's how much energy you burn for just existing and maintaining your size, okay? It's dependent on your general mass and size. So that's one thing into your income. In fact, I'm gonna write it here. So things in the income are BMR, muscle mass, okay? Thermic effect from protein, which we call TEF, so thermic effect of food. If you're eating the right proportion of the right foods, you increase this thermic effect, okay, which burns energy. It burns a lot of energy. If you eat the right amount of protein and you're hitting certain nutrient markers, you can burn as much energy as a cardio session, okay? So this is very good for income, and it kind of feeds into muscle, which further increases your income, okay? So having more muscle also over time feeds into your BMR, increasing your income. You see what I mean? So I'm helping on all these different levels. And then the last one is movement. General daily movement. There's a lot of nuance to that. You don't want to be going crazy. Don't get on the freaking treadmill for hours and hours on end. There's a lot more to this, but basically this is what I help my clients optimize, okay? There's ways and there's a lot of nuance to each of these. All of these are total daily expenditure is equivalent to your total daily income, and it constitutes all these. When you optimize these, you boost your income, pay back debt, and depending on how you want to do these, pay for luxuries, maintain your standard of life, pay your bills, etc., etc., etc. But why are we still fat? Why is this still even a problem, okay? Because for some reason, people don't know this, okay? Which, not knowing this is the equivalent, the health equivalent, and I'm going to go back to the money metaphor. Don't look at your bank account, you don't know how much money you have, you don't know how much money you're earning, you don't check your pay check, and you don't even look at the price of things, and you think you're going to be financially well off. No. How do you get in debt? Basically, you spend more than you have. How do you get fat? You eat more than you can. You spend more on energy, you take in more energy than you burn. But basically where a lot of people go wrong is that they still want the lifestyle, they still want to spend the same money and somehow pay back the debt. A lot of people crash out because they do diets, they lose the fat, they start paying back the debt, but then they get to a point where they've stopped paying their bills. The lights are shutting off, the heat's out, all these things. You can't just try and pay back all your debt all at once. Your life's going to fall apart. It's not sustainable, okay? Because if you show up to your job, well, let's say you sold your car to try and pay back the debt. Now you can't get to your job and your income's fucked. That's what basically this kind of extreme dieting, these fad diets, are doing. That's why you kind of lose weight and it's not sustainable, because you never found a proper payment plan that helps you take care of your business and slowly pay back your debt, while also increasing, in a way, your passive income, we can call it, your overall income. Because as you're growing, we're building these, and that's going to increase your income so that once the debt's paid off, guess what? Like, you're kind of paying debts a bit better, more efficiently, maintaining your life, okay? And one day, you're going to get to a position where the debt's paid off, and it's not going to be so easy to accumulate the same debt because you got these right. You have these jobs, you have these streams of income, so you don't really have to worry about debt. There's enough in the bank to manage your spending, okay? That needs to be built over time. And that's kind of how calories are just like money. So if you understand that, hopefully this was clear, hopefully this helps. If you want a deeper understanding, because I promise you that's the thing, this took me a long time to achieve. I struggled with the whole fat loss and getting in shape and being okay with what I saw in the mirror for a long time. This took a long time to understand. Everyone is different. Everyone has these nuances to each of these things. There's a lot of complexity, and everyone is special in that sense. Yeah, some people can just plug and get a blueprint and hope it works. But eventually what happens, they fall off because it's not sustainable. Their income does not match their expenses. They never learned how to budget properly. And that's what we fix. It's a proper long-term solution. So if that sounds good to you, get in touch with me, DM me. There's links in the bio. My profile, you can get in touch with me. We'll set up a free consultation call and you can apply for one-on-one coaching, and let's get things together.